Good day, dear cat lovers. Today, we'll talk about a topic that concerns many owners of fluffy pets: how to properly scold a cat without undermining its self-confidence. This is truly an important question, as we all want our pets to be well-behaved while feeling loved and protected. Imagine the situation. You return home and see an overturned vase, torn curtains, or a puddle in the wrong place. Your first reaction is irritation and the desire to immediately scold the culprit. But before raising your voice at your fluffy friend, let's examine how effective this approach is and what alternatives exist. First, it's important to understand that cats are not dogs. Their psychology and perception of the world are fundamentally different. If a dog can connect your displeasure with its misdeed even after some time has passed, a cat lives in the here and now. It simply cannot understand that you're scolding it for something it did 5 minutes ago. Interesting fact: research shows that cats can remember events for a maximum of 17 hours, but they can only establish a connection between an action and subsequent punishment if the punishment follows immediately, within a few seconds after the misdeed. Now imagine you're scolding a cat for a broken vase it knocked over while you weren't home. For the cat, your anger is absolutely unrelated to the vase. It simply sees that, for some unknown reason, the big human has suddenly become aggressive. Moreover, cats don't understand the concept of right and wrong in human terms. They don't do things out of spite or mischief. If a cat scratches furniture, it's simply following its natural instinct to sharpen its claws. If it jumps on the table, it's because it likes being at a height that offers a good view of the territory. Everything a cat does has some natural, instinctive reason behind it. So what should you do if a cat does engage in unwanted behaviors? How do you communicate that certain things shouldn't be done without traumatizing its psyche? Let's figure it out. The first and most important rule: never use physical punishment. Slaps, hitting with newspapers, shaking by the scruff, all of this is not only ineffective, but extremely harmful. Physical punishment causes fear and stress in cats, can lead to aggression, or, conversely, to withdrawal and depression. The cat won't understand what it's being punished for, but will remember that humans are a source of pain and danger. Trust will be undermined, and without trust, it's impossible to build a healthy relationship with your pet. Research shows that cats subjected to physical punishment are 3 times more likely to exhibit problematic behavior and twice as likely to suffer from various psychosomatic illnesses. So the first rule: no violence, even mild. The second important rule: you must react immediately. As we've already mentioned, cats cannot connect your displeasure with an action they performed some time ago. If you didn't catch your pet in the act, any punishment will be meaningless and even harmful. Imagine lying peacefully on the couch, and suddenly someone starts yelling at you for something you did yesterday. This is unlikely to make you want to improve. Rather, it will cause confusion and resentment. So, if you discover evidence of misbehavior after the fact, simply clean up the consequences and take measures to prevent similar situations in the future. For example, if a cat broke a vase, consider whether it should be moved to a safer place or replaced with a less fragile one. The third rule: use methods that cats can actually understand. Cats respond excellently to tone and voice volume. If you catch your pet engaging in an unwanted action, it's enough to say a firm no or stop in a loud, low voice. It's important not to scream hysterically. This will only frighten the cat, but won't help it understand it's doing something wrong. Your voice should be confident but controlled. Many owners note that their cats distinguish intonations well and respond specifically to the tone of voice. not to specific words. Therefore, it's important to be consistent. Always use the same command and intonation to indicate prohibition. The fourth rule: distract and redirect. If you catch a cat in an unwanted action, for example, scratching the sofa, don't limit yourself to a simple prohibition. After saying no, offer an alternative. Move the cat to a scratching post and reward it when it starts scratching there. This way, you're not just forbidding something, but also showing what can and should be done and where. This method is especially effective because it takes into account a cat's natural needs. You're not forbidding it from scratching altogether, which would be unnatural and impossible, but simply directing this behavior into a channel acceptable to you. The fifth rule: use positive reinforcement. Cats respond much better to encouragement of desired behavior than to punishment for undesired behavior. If you notice your cat doing something right, for example, scratching a scratching post instead of furniture, be sure to praise it, pet it, or give it a treat. Over time, the cat will understand that certain actions lead to pleasant consequences and will strive to repeat them. Research in animal behavior shows that positive reinforcement is 8 times more effective than negative. Animals trained with rewards learn faster and retain the skills longer than those punished for mistakes. The sixth rule: be consistent. Cats love predictability and routine. If today you allow your cat to sleep on the bed, and tomorrow suddenly start scolding it for this, it will only confuse your pet and cause stress. Set clear rules and boundaries and stick to them. All family members should follow the same rules. Otherwise, the cat simply won't understand what is wanted from it. Inconsistency in upbringing is one of the main causes of problematic behavior in pets. When a cat cannot predict a human's reaction to its actions, it begins to experience chronic stress, which can manifest as aggression, territorial marking, or obsessive behavior. The seventh rule: take into account your cat's individual characteristics. All cats are different, with different temperaments, histories, and sensitivities. What works for one cat may be completely ineffective for another. For example, some cats are very sensitive to loud sounds, and for them, even a quiet no might be too frightening. Others, conversely, are so confident that they simply ignore verbal prohibitions. Observe your pet, note how it reacts to various methods of behavior correction, and adapt your approach accordingly. Remember that your goal is not to frighten the cat, but to teach it to live in harmony with you and your home. The eighth rule: don't take everything personally. Sometimes owners perceive a cat's unwanted behavior as a personal insult or act of revenge. She made a puddle on my bed because I came home late yesterday and didn't play with her. But cats don't think in such categories. If a cat didn't use its litter box, this might be related to medical problems, stress, or simply because the box hasn't been cleaned for a long time, but definitely not with a desire to get revenge on you. Anthropomorphism, attributing human motives and emotions to animals, is a very common mistake that hinders effective interaction with pets. Try to look at the situation from the cat's perspective, considering its natural instincts and needs rather than projecting human logic onto it. The ninth rule: pay attention to the causes of behavior. Often, what we perceive as problematic behavior is actually a symptom of some problem. For example, if a typically clean cat suddenly starts missing the litter box, this could be a sign of urinary tract disease. If a calm cat suddenly becomes aggressive, it may be experiencing pain or discomfort. Even seemingly simple things like scratching furniture or jumping on tables might be caused not by disobedience, but by unmet needs. Perhaps the scratching post is uncomfortable or placed in an unsuitable location. Perhaps the cat lacks physical activity or play. Before scolding a cat, always ask yourself, why is it doing this? Often, by eliminating the cause, you'll automatically solve the behavior problem. The 10th rule, remember about stress. Cats are very sensitive to changes in their environment, and stress can cause various forms of unwanted behavior. Moving, renovations, the appearance of a new family member or animal, even rearranging furniture. All of this can be a source of severe stress for a cat. When stressed, a cat may start marking territory, showing aggression, excessively grooming to the point of creating bald spots, or, conversely, stop grooming altogether. In such cases, punishment is not only ineffective, but harmful, as it only increases stress and exacerbates the problem. If you notice changes in your cat's behavior after some stressful event, give it time to adapt, provide a safe refuge where it can hide, and use pheromones, such as Feline, that help reduce anxiety. In complex cases, a consultation with a veterinarian or behavioral therapist may be required. The 11th rule, never scold a cat for natural manifestations of its nature. Cats are hunters by nature. They love climbing high places, scratching, hunting, moving objects. This isn't bad behavior. This is simply a cat being a cat. Instead of trying to suppress these natural instincts, which won't work anyway, it's better to create conditions where the cat can realize them in a safe and acceptable way for you. Install tall scratching posts with platforms for climbing. Regularly play with the cat using toys that imitate prey. Provide enough places to rest at height. Research shows that cats who have the opportunity to realize their natural instincts in domestic conditions are much less likely to exhibit problematic behavior and are generally happier and healthier. The 12th rule, consider the cat's age. Kittens, like children, are in the process of learning and exploring the world. They're not disobedient, they just don't know the rules yet. Teaching a kitten requires special patience and gentleness. Elderly cats, in turn, may have health problems that affect their behavior or simply be less adaptable to changes. The approach to behavior correction should take into account the cat's age characteristics. For kittens, short, playful lessons with lots of positive reinforcement are effective. For elderly cats, creating special conditions that account for their possible limitations may be necessary. The 13th rule, don't forget about the role of the environment. Often, problems with a cat's behavior are related not to the cat itself, but to how its living space is organized. For example, if there aren't enough litter boxes in the house, it's recommended to have one more than the number of cats. If they're located in inconvenient places or rarely cleaned, don't be surprised if the cat looks for alternative places for a toilet. The same applies to scratching posts, resting places, toys. Creating an enriched environment that satisfies all of a cat's needs is the best prevention for problematic behavior. The 14th rule, pay attention to your own behavior. Sometimes we ourselves, without realizing it, encourage unwanted behavior in cats. For example, if a cat wakes you up in the mornings demanding food and you get up and feed it, you're reinforcing this behavior model. The cat quickly learns. If I disturb the human in the morning, I'll be fed. It's also important to remember that cats are very sensitive to their owner's emotional state. If you're tense, irritated, or anxious, the cat may react to this with changes in its behavior. Therefore, working on your own emotional state is also part of pet upbringing. The 15th rule, be patient. Behavior change is a process that takes time. Don't expect instant results. Cats, like people, learn gradually through trial and error. Be prepared that it will take time and consistent effort for a cat to learn new rules. Research shows that to form a new habit in a cat may require from 2 to 8 weeks of regular repetition. It all depends on the individual characteristics of the animal, its age, previous experience, and the complexity of the skill itself. The 16th rule: use distractions. If you see that a cat is about to do something unwanted, try to distract its attention. Clap your hands, throw a toy, call the cat. Any action that will interrupt the unwanted behavior before it begins. This method is especially effective with young, playful cats that easily switch attention. The main thing is to act before the unwanted behavior begins, not during or after. The 17th rule: use natural consequences. In nature, animals learn through the consequences of their actions. If something leads to unpleasant results, they try to avoid it in the future. You can use this principle by creating safe but unpleasant consequences for the cat for certain actions. For example, if a cat likes to jump on the table, you can place sheets of paper on the edge of the table that will fall along with the cat when it jumps. The loud but safe sound of falling paper will be an unpleasant consequence for the cat, and it may decide that jumping on the table isn't worth it. It's important that such traps are safe and don't cause the cat pain or severe fright. The goal is to create mild discomfort that the cat will associate with a certain action, not to scare it half to death. The 18th rule: use play as a teaching method. Cats love to play, and play can be an excellent way to teach a cat proper behavior. For example, if a cat bites hands during play, stop playing immediately. After a while, the cat will understand that bites lead to the cessation of a fun activity and will learn to control the force of its bite. Play also helps the cat expend energy, which reduces the likelihood of destructive behavior from boredom or excess energy. Regular play sessions are not only pleasurable for your pet, but an important part of its upbringing. The 19th rule: don't forget about medical causes. Many behavior problems have a medical basis. If your cat has suddenly changed its behavior, for example, stopped using the litter box, become aggressive, or conversely apathetic, the first thing to do is consult a veterinarian. Urinary tract diseases, joint pain, dental problems, neurological disorders, all of these can manifest through changes in behavior. Treating the underlying disease often solves the behavioral problem without the need for additional correction. The 20th rule: remember the main thing. Your goal is not to subjugate the cat to your will, but to build harmonious relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. A cat is not a robot that can be programmed for certain behavior, but a living being with its own needs, instincts, and personality. Successful cat upbringing is not so much about changing its behavior as creating an environment where both cat and human can coexist comfortably, respecting each other's boundaries and needs. Now let's look at some specific situations and ways to respond to them. Situation 1. The cat scratches furniture. What to do? If you catch the cat in the process, say a firm "no," distract its attention, and move it to a scratching post. When it starts scratching the post, praise and reward it with a treat. Make sure the scratching post is comfortable, stable, and located in a suitable place where the cat likes to be. You can treat the scratching post with catnip or pheromones to attract the cat's attention. If the problem continues, perhaps there aren't enough scratching posts or they're not the type your cat prefers. Some cats like vertical scratching posts, others horizontal ones, still others prefer cardboard. Experiment until you find what your pet likes. Situation 2. The cat jumps on the table or kitchen counters. This is natural behavior. Cats love height from which they have a good view, but from a hygiene standpoint, this isn't always acceptable. What to do? First, provide the cat with alternative high places, shelves, cat trees, special windowsills. Second, make the table or countertop less attractive. Don't leave food on them. Use double-sided tape or aluminum foil Most cats don't like the texture of these materials. If you catch the cat on the table, don't shout or scare it. This could lead to a fall and injury. Simply calmly remove it, say no, and take it to a permitted high place, such as a cat tree. Situation 3. The cat wakes you up in the mornings, demanding food. This is a classic example of how we ourselves unintentionally teach cats unwanted behavior. If every time a cat wakes you, you get up and feed it, you're reinforcing this behavior model. Solution: ignore the cat when it tries to wake you up. Yes, the first few days will be difficult, but the cat needs to understand that its actions don't lead to the desired result. Feed the cat on a schedule, but not immediately after waking up. You can also use an automatic feeder that dispenses food at a set time, so the cat associates getting food with the device, not with your waking up. Situation 4. The cat misses the litter box. This is one of the most common problems cat owners face. First of all, rule out medical causes. Urinary tract diseases often manifest through toilet problems. If health is fine, check if the cat is satisfied with the litter box itself, its size, depth, litter, location, cleanliness. Cats are very clean, and many refuse to use a dirty litter box. Some don't like covered boxes. Others don't like certain types of litter. Experiment until you find a combination that suits your pet. If the cat has already found a certain place for a toilet outside the litter box, temporarily limit access to this place and put an additional litter box there. Gradually, when the cat gets used to using the litter box, it can be slowly moved to a more suitable place for you. Situation 5. The cat shows aggression during play or petting. This may be related to overexcitement or to the cat not having learned to control the force of its bites and scratches. If the cat bites or scratches during play, immediately stop playing. Say "ouch" or "no" in a high voice, imitating the squeak with which kittens signal pain, and move away from the cat. After a while, the cat will understand that aggressive behavior leads to the termination of pleasant interaction. Never play with the cat using your hands. This teaches it that human hands are suitable objects for attack. Use wand toys, balls, interactive toys. If aggression manifests during petting, pay attention to signals the cat gives before biting: tail twitching, flattened ears, body tension. Learn to recognize these signals and stop petting before the cat moves to active actions. Situation 6. The cat marks territory. This is especially characteristic of unsterilized animals, but sometimes occurs in sterilized cats in a state of stress. If your cat is not sterilized, neutered, this is the first step worth taking. In most cases, the problem is solved exactly this way. If the cat is already sterilized but continues to mark, you need to find the source of stress. This could be the appearance of another animal, even outside the window, moving, renovations, changes in the owner's daily routine. Use pheromones. Feline, provide the cat with a safe refuge where no one will disturb it, and try to minimize stress factors. In complex cases, a consultation with a veterinary behavioral therapist and even medication support may be required. Places the cat has already marked need to be thoroughly cleaned with special enzymatic cleaners that completely destroy the scent of the marks. Regular household cleaning products don't cope with this task. The cat still smells the scent and continues to mark the same place. Situation 7. The cat chews on houseplants. Many cats like to chew plants, and this can be dangerous if the plant is poisonous. First, make sure all plants in your home are safe for cats. Then, offer your pet a safe alternative, special cat grass that can be grown from seeds. Plants you want to protect can be treated with special repellent sprays with a bitter taste or citrus scent, which most cats don't like. If the cat still continues to attack plants, it may be lacking fiber in its diet or is simply bored. Enrich its diet and habitat. Provide enough toys and playtime. Situation 8. The cat damages things when left alone. This could be a manifestation of separation anxiety, a condition where an animal experiences severe stress when the owner is absent. If this is the case, punishment is completely useless. The cat is acting under the influence of severe stress, not out of mischief. To solve the problem, you need to gradually accustom the cat to your absence, starting with short periods and gradually increasing them. Provide the cat with interesting activities during your absence: interactive toys, puzzle feeders with treats, special videos for cats. You can also leave a piece of clothing with your scent, which helps the cat feel your presence. In complex cases, a specialist consultation and even temporary use of calming medications may be required. Situation 9. The cat begs for food when you eat. Many cats show interest in human food and can be very persistent in their requests. It's important to establish a rule from the start: the cat is not fed from the table. If you give in just once, the cat will remember that persistence leads to success and will be even more persistent next time. Ignore the cat's requests during your meal. If it's too intrusive, you can use a distraction. For example, throw a toy into another room. It also helps to feed the cat on a schedule, roughly at the same time you eat yourself. Then it will be busy with its own food and less likely to show interest in yours. Situation 10. The cat doesn't let you sleep at night, runs around the apartment, plays with things. This is especially characteristic of young, energetic cats. The solution is simple. Provide the cat with enough physical and mental activity during the day, especially in the evening before bed. An active play session before you go to bed will help the cat expend energy and more likely spend the night calmly. It also helps to establish a clear daily routine. Cats love predictability and adapt well to schedules. If the problem still continues, you can temporarily limit the cat's access to the bedroom at night, providing it with a comfortable place to sleep in another room. Now that we've examined the basic principles of correcting cat behavior and discussed typical problematic situations, let's summarize. Raising a cat is not so much a process of teaching commands and rules as creating an environment where both cat and human can live comfortably, respecting each other's needs and boundaries. Cats are independent creatures with strong instincts, and our task is not to suppress these instincts, but to direct them into an acceptable channel. Key principles to remember: never use physical punishment. React immediately at the moment of the unwanted action. Use methods that cats can understand. Distract and redirect unwanted behavior. Encourage desired behavior. Be consistent. Take into account your cat's individual characteristics. Look for causes of problematic behavior. Remember the role of stress and create a calm, predictable environment. Respect the nature of the cat and its natural needs. Remember that building harmonious relationships with a cat is a process that requires time, patience, and understanding. But the result is worth the effort. A calm, self-confident pet that feels safe in your home and delights you with its company. Research shows that positive upbringing methods are not only more effective than negative ones, but also contribute to strengthening the bond between human and animal. Cats raised using positive reinforcement and respect for their nature are more attached to their owners, less prone to stress and health problems. Interestingly, many principles we've discussed regarding cat upbringing are applicable to human relationships as well. respect for another's personality, understanding their needs, patience, consistency, positive reinforcement instead of punishment. All this works not only with cats, but with people too. In the end, our relationships with pets reflect our attitude toward the world as a whole. By choosing kindness, patience, and understanding instead of anger and punishment, we not only raise happy, self-confident pets, but also make the world a little better. I hope this information was useful to you and will help build harmonious relationships with your fluffy friend. Remember, a cat is not just a pet. It's a family member with its own needs, character, and dignity. Respect its nature, consider its needs, and it will respond with love and attachment. Thank you for your attention. If the video was useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to receive new interesting materials about our furry friends. Until next time.